was lifted. When the pot lid was lifted, the family started eating. The boy, clumsy with his hands, kept spilling food everywhere. At first, his stepmother gently reminded him to be careful, but then her face grew stern, and resentment flickered in her eyes. She pushed her chair back, stood up, and tied her hair up. The little girl didn't notice the coldness in her expression. She still wore an innocent smile. Something had happened that made life much harder for the siblings. Warm, home-cooked meals turned into cold, boxed lunches. Even then, the boy still couldn't hold his chopsticks steady. His sister hurried to apologize, promising she'd make sure he behaved. But the woman hung up her phone, tied her hair again, and said nothing. From that day on, the once cheerful and lively girl seemed drained of all energy. Sometimes she'd walk all the way to the school gates, only to turn around and go back. Meanwhile, the police officers at the station acted indifferent. When the police and child services finally visited their home, the stepmother greeted them with a sweet, gentle smile. Faced with her fake sympathy, the girl was so frightened she backed away. In that woman's arms, there wasn't a shred of warmth. Seeing how pleasant and composed the woman appeared, everyone automatically assumed the children were exaggerating. The conversation they had on the sofa only reinforced that belief. As soon as the officials left, the woman's face instantly darkened. The boy was left to eat plain white rice scraps, while the girl knelt by the doorway with her hands raised high. A moment later, the boy clutched his ears in pain, but there was only a thin wall between him and the bathroom, so every one of his sister's screams felt like a blade cutting straight into his heart. The girl tried to ask her teacher for help. Though the teacher noticed the marks on her neck, just a few dismissive words were enough to crush what little hope she had left. Her brother suggested they go find the social worker they'd met the day before. That became their only lifeline. The boy stared at a hamburger, his eyes full of longing. It was the first time they'd ever seen one. Mike showed him how to open it, but when some crumbs fell onto the table, the boy panicked and started crying, terrified he'd be yelled at. Mike gently cut the burger into pieces for him, a simple kindness that let the girl glimpse a glimmer of hope. When Mike drove them back home, the boy spotted a stuffed animal in the car, but the girl quickly told him it belonged to their uncle and snatched it away, leaving the boy slumped against the seat in disappointment. Mike was trying to land a job in Seoul, but the kids came looking for him again. They brought an old photo of their mother, her head torn off in the picture, and asked if he could help them find her. Mike, who only worked at child services as a temp, felt helpless. His supervisor offered a few words of encouragement. The boy suddenly said he wanted to visit the zoo. Exasperation was written all over Mike's face, but he took them anyway, as if that wasn't enough. He then sat with them while they drew pictures. The theme was my mother, but the boy used a green crayon. Just then, Mike got a call from Seoul. They'd secured him the job at the law firm. He rushed to drop the kids off at their apartment, but they didn't want to get out of the car. He handed the boy some money so he could buy a hamburger next time, but the boy still wouldn't budge. Finally, Mike gave him his nephew's stuffed animal and left his phone number. Only then did the kids finally get out, satisfied at last.